can come help me. We're about to... Yeah, the water's definitely cooled down. Oh, Clovis, want to come in, buddy? It's in take your breath away mode. Oh, Clovis, hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. Oh. Ever since Clovis and I moved into the cabin, there's just been so many flies in here. And I think in the late summer when we were doing a lot of construction in here, noticed there's tons of flies kind of flying in. I don't know if they were kind of finding their overwintering spots. And then because we heated the cabin up with the stove, they're all of a sudden coming to life. Or, you know, if they are somehow getting in, there's three places I can think of. You see at the very apex there's a little gap like this wide, that 2x8 beam that's sitting on top of the ridge beam. There's a gap between there and the roof. I think I'm gonna have to plug that up on each end with spray foam. The other problem is potentially this. So do you guys see the underlay on these ridges here? There are these little gaps here, and I'm wondering if the flies are getting up here and then going up, because they can travel all the way up underneath the roof to the top, and then they can get down inside. So you see on this side, I remembered to put in these foam blockers that are given with the roof. I just forgot to put them in on the other side. So I think I'm gonna put these in over there. I am James ALOFS. I left the big city to build an off-grid homestead on 40 acres of Canadian wilderness. This area of Ontario has giant ridgelines, deep valleys, and pure rivers. Black bears, gray wolves, mountain lions, moose, and many forest spirits share the land. I started in November 2023. Starting with a modest 12 by 16 foot guest cabin, my goal is to build such a glorious homestead that I attract a magnificent wife, have several military-grade babies, and raise our Swiss mountain dog Clovis, king of the Franks. Welcome to Wild Homestead. Clovis, king of the Franks, catch me if I fall. Oh, thanks a lot, Clovis. Clovis. Okay guys, you see that? That is the Rhino tough lining, the underlayment underneath the steel. And I think I've only cut it up to here. I need to cut it over this open expanse. Basically cut 2 slits so that there's a gap there, so that as the air runs up from outside over the top of the insulation, when it gets up here, it can go through the venting on the ridge cap. Oh yeah, there we go. Nice, nice. This is definitely one of many things where when you're building something for the first time, you don't really know about order of operations, but this would have been much easier to do when I was putting the underlayment on top of the roof, or at least, you know, before I was putting the steel down, is just to cut it open. And in fact, I think that's what I did over there. But I didn't do it over here for whatever reason. But I'm just glad that I noticed this. Cut this open, you can see right up to this. I can feel the steel right there. Guys, something is rotten in the state of Denmark. This insulation does not look big enough. Is correct, it's the same as the other insulation we have inside, but this looks like half the width. Let me go grab the other piece. Look at this. That does not look good. Is this going to expand to that size? I don't think so. So I just checked, you know, 2 of the packages and they're both the same size. I think we're going to leave them sit. It's kind of a bummer because we got all the scaffolding set up inside the cabin to do this right now, which is not easy. But we got to let it sit for a night. And then, you know, tomorrow's going to be Monday and it's open and I can talk to those guys. But if they screw this up, man, this is going to be a pain in the butt to fix this problem. So I hope they didn't. Clovis, what are you doing? What are you doing, buddy? I actually read the instruction manual, figure that, on the installation for the sheep's wool for cathedral roofs, which this is, and learned something very interesting about another component we need to put in there. We can either build it ourselves or buy it from a store. And the DIY version is going to be, I think, much more expensive and much more time consuming in terms of labor. So it's very cheap just to buy the component from the store, but it's something I never thought we'd need to put in there. Clove, man, you can't sleep there. Where am I going to sleep? Where am I? He doesn't like the light. Clovis, sorry, buddy. That's where I got to sleep. you woke up? You woke up, sleepy? Hi. Clovis, look. Okay, folks, now we got that cleared out of the way. My neighbor can come help me. We're about to get some loads of gravel and all the work clearing this area. This is where we're going to eventually build, I think, a timber frame garage. But for now, we're going to get the gravel down in the fall before the winter and just get it all shipshape. The wolves are howling again. Let me see. Let me open the window, see if you can hear this. I don't know if you can hear that. I gotta get better audio. I gotta get a real like DSLR with proper audio so you guys can hear all this stuff. I'm still using my iPhone. Okay, guys, so you know how I thought that they had sent me the wrong bats of the sheep's wool insulation. What I found is that after about 24 hours, they have expanded to their correct size. So you can tell, like, look at this. This has been open for 24 hours sitting in here. This, I just opened that bag. I just opened this bag. I just opened that bag. So I think they just need 24 hours to breathe. So these first two bags, this one and this one, they're beautiful. These guys are sitting at between 5.5 and 6 inches. But this is great for temporary storage, for a guest tent, for storing like my clothing and tools. This is actually great. Like if you guys need something like this, this is the 13-foot Regatta Bell tent from White Duck. They're out of Georgia in the United States. They've got a 13-foot, they got I think like a 15, a 20, or actually it might be 13 feet wide. But like get a 20-footer. It's not that much more expensive than the 13, what this is. I think it's 9 feet tall here, 13 feet wide. This would be a great gear tent if you're building an off-grid cabin yourself and you need something just to keep stuff dry. It's supposed to pour rain tonight. This is going to be great in here. Oh, good boy. Oh, you're sprinting. Sprinting. So after actually reading the instruction manual from the Havelock Wool website, they actually suggested to install these things are called rafter baffles. Yet another construction item that who even knew that there was such a thing. And it basically just, if you see, it goes all the way from that soffit hole, 1.5 inch tall soffit hole we got down there, all the way up to the vented ridge cap. So it just ensures, like, this stuff has been unpacked since the summer, and this stuff is almost close to 7 inches deep, even though it's the technical specifications are 5.5. So this 2x8 is 7.25 inch. So it's almost filling up the entire cavity, and it's blocking off the airflow. So it's a good thing that I downloaded that to double check, because as you can see, they say every section leave open a few inch area here so that any moisture and stuff from in the surrounding area can get sucked into that cold air going up and then right out the top. Dude, I took off the panel. Look how many flies there are. Oh no. Oh God, how many flies are going to be behind this one? There they are. Okay, now I gotta get up there. Clovis. Good boy. Good boy. Yeah, you were running around like crazy on the trail today. Oh yeah. Clovis. Ooh. Good boy. Good boy. Yeah. Yeah. So good. Clovis. Oh, nice. Sweet. Oh. Oh my God, what the heck's going on there? Oh. A fly just flew right in my mouth. I think he's in my piece of gum. That's weird. He's probably pissed because we vacuumed up all his cousins on the wall over there. He's probably like, you bad hole. You vacuumed up my cousin Lenny. How dare you? Well, guess what, buddy? Maybe your cousin Lenny shouldn't be living in my roof. Hey, Clovis. How you doing, buddy? This, ladies and gentlemen, is a pound of moose meat. Shout out to my friend for hooking me up with this. I think they're both moose hunters. This moose was harvested. It was a bull moose right in this area. So this is so cool. They also give me some hot salami, moose salami. Best salami I've ever had, hands down. It's just so rich. The meat is so rich. It makes even grass-fed beef taste relatively bland. I know some people don't like the gamey flavor, but oh my goodness. And the raw meat is such a deep red color. You think about the variety of nutrients they're getting in their diet compared to even grass-fed cows, right? They're probably grazing on maybe 1, 2, 3 species of grass, but a moose is probably grazing on 100 different species of plants. So that's pretty cool to think about. The moose population in Ontario is not doing too hot. It's kind of trending down. So they're reducing the number of tags available. It's very hard to get a moose tag. In the United States and Canada, it's called the North American Wildlife Management Method, I believe. And basically, every year, every 2 years, they divvy up. In Ontario, for example, there's 80 different wildlife management units, and they will do a census of each species, game species in that wildlife management unit, and then determine, is the population stable? Is it going up? Is it going down? If it's going up, they can issue more tags. If it's stable, they keep them the same. If the population is going down, they decrease the number of tags. So that way, you're never in a situation where there's too much hunting pressure. So it's worked quite well, over the past, basically, I guess it's maybe 80 years now. Oh my goodness. Wow. That is good. That is very good. I decided to do it with a little bit of maple syrup. Moose meat and maple syrup, both from basically this valley. Can't buy this in the grocery store. Can't get this at the Four Seasons. Fresh moose meat and maple syrup. Okay, we got this side taped up. Ready to... This is tough, man. I don't know if there's a better way to set this up, but it's really tricky. Remnants of the wasp nest of the Great Wasp Battle of June 2024. We just ate dinner. The Clove Meister, King Clovis, is chewing on one of his 7 toys. Talk about selection paralysis. The decompression chamber, ladies and gentlemen, / storage shed. Bottom here, there we go. You boys can breathe. You boys can breathe now. Okay, folks, that was a crazy amount of work, but the good news is the insulation in our ceiling is basically done, except the last 2 bays on the left side where the chimney goes up. I want to check with the chimney guy that's doing our wet certification He's certifying our stove install to make sure it's to code so we can get insurance on the cabin. I don't know if we are allowed or how close the insulation can be to the pipe. So I'm gonna wait to talk to those guys before doing the last 2 bays. And then there's just one bay closer in here where there's some black stuff on the 2x8. I don't think it's mold. I think it's some kind of tar stain, because that board I think was on the top of a pile. But I just want to treat it with some vinegar before I put in and seal in those 2 bats. Hello. So guys, check this out. This is a laser level. So my neighbor has been telling me about these things for a while. I think this one he got on sale for around $100 Canadian, so like 75 or 80 bucks US. He saw my video last week doing the Woodshed Foundation. He's like, hey man, borrow this when you're doing the next steps on your woodshed, and you know, use it alongside your regular level and see which one is easier. Because he's convinced that, you know, he uses this instead of levels. Because he said once you start to get out to, you know, 10, 15, 20 feet distances and you're measuring between multiple different things, any little variation between the level bubble is things are going to be off kilter. Compared to this can shoot a line, right? I think up to, this one is, I think, up to 30 feet. Wow. Okay. So that's the first time I'm like, this level is actually the laser level is very useful, more than a regular 4-foot level and board. Because once I got that thing lined up with the center point, not only left, right, but also up, down on this, this beam, also I could find the center point. Well, the center point I did measure off of the 10-foot board, but then in terms of east-west, where was the center, I just lined it up with the up and down laser, because this laser shoots one both up and down and then across, horizontally and vertically. So getting this aligned perfectly in between the 2 beams is very useful. Clovemeister's taking a sleep over here. So last week I mentioned Attila the Hun. If you're going to boil down the fall of the Roman Empire to a single variable, what was the most powerful variable? I think you can make the argument that was the arrival of the Huns in the late 300s AD into Europe. It was a perfect storm of military incursions from the Huns, but also all these Germanic nations along the northern border, right, which ran along the Rhine River and all the way over the Danube River into the east towards the Black Sea. Multiple spots, Germanic nations and the Huns, sometimes in league with one another, all coming across the northern border simultaneously, something that the Roman defenses and Roman military were set up to handle maybe 1 or 2 of these kind of incursions simultaneously, but getting 3, 4, or 5 of them at once across the northern frontier, it was the perfect storm. It blew the circuits, and it essentially led about 100 years later to the final collapse of the Roman Empire. Huns arrived in essentially what is modern day Hungary, and they slammed into a people that were called the Goths. Now, there were the Visigoths and the Ostrogoths, essentially the Western Goths and the Eastern Goths, cousins, but separate, and, had animosity towards one another. They were originally from, I believe, modern day Sweden. There's actually, I think, a state in modern day Sweden called Västergötland and Östergötland, which Ostrogoths and Visigoths, I believe they originate from those two areas. But anyways, this is who the Huns slammed into, and they smashed into the Goths. They had caused a huge amount of chaos. The Ostrogoths retreated. They slammed into the Visigoths to the south, and the Visigoths, they're like, we got nowhere to go. We can't go to the north. There's the Ostrogoths and the Huns. We're going to try to go across the southern border. So that's what they did. And basically, around the same time, generally, it caused a pinball effect where it wasn't just the Goths. All the neighboring other tribes, the Vandals, the Swabi, the Burgundians, they all slammed into one another as the Huns started pushing all these different German peoples towards the west. And multiple nations, like in the west, further west along the Rhine frontier, I believe this was like in 47 AD, you had the Burgundians, the Vandals, and the Swabi allied together crossing the Rhine. So the arrival of the Huns essentially caused this pinball effect of all these Germanic nations to get riled up. It's like slamming a wasp nest with a baseball bat, and all the wasps go crazy at once. The Roman military was not set up to handle all of them attacking the northern border at once, but that's exactly what happened. And that is what eventually led to the fall of the Roman Empire. They couldn't handle it. Very fascinating. You should check out Peter Heather. He's got a few books on the fall of the Roman Empire. He's got the most up-to-date information and archaeological data. Absolutely fascinating. I've had this can of WD-40 for a few months now. I've been waiting for a chance to use it. My maternal grandfather, I've told you guys about him before. His name was Robert. We called him Bob. And he was the family was from Scotland. The last name was Proudfoot. And he grew up on, the oldest of 12 kids, grew up on a dairy farm, 400-acre dairy farm. An engineer by training. And after he retired, I think he retired onto like about a 12-acre property in the country in the Thousand Islands area between New York State and Ontario, but he put WD-40 on everything. I remember whenever I was in his garage, which also had a big tool shop area, he put this on everything. He had an old Ford tractor. He was an engineer at Ford, on everything on that tractor. So I'm happy to be able to use this WD-40, even though this stuff is probably toxic as all hell. This thing is incredible. So it says on the box that for a similar sized 8-inch gas powered auger, this thing has 30% more torque. And I'm not surprised. This drilled the hole so much easier than the gas auger that I used. I just bought this extra this is about 2.5 feet. This is about 1.5 feet. that brings it up to 4 feet, but this thing's amazing. So 1 hole, still on full battery. So that's pretty nifty. I guess it'd be the same thing if I had the board across here and had that level. I would just line that up to the top of the board, but I just look for that laser. The one problem with this DeWalt one is that I can barely see it. Unless I stick my head down in front of the tube to block the sun so there's shade, I literally can't see that laser mark. So I don't know if this is like just, this one he said was about $100. Maybe it's because it's too cheap. It's just not powerful. I'm not sure. Maybe it's like a design for inside use. It's 61 inches, which is the halfway of 122, but you can see the vertical mark. That's not only is that right in the center of the beams, but left or right, it's also centered. So that's pretty cool. You can see the sun. It's about 4 o'clock, so the sun's getting lower, but you can actually start to see the laser again. But it's pretty frustrating because in the middle of the day you couldn't see it. So you can see here, that vertical line is right in the middle of that post over there. I don't know if you can see that. There it is. But it's slightly to the left here. So I have to be careful when I'm drilling, is that I try to drill, get it right on, because I was a little bit off there. Clovis, move, buddy, move. Clovis, hey. Clovis, 1 second. I just got to get this lined up, man, because you're gonna knock the post over. Give me 1 second, buddy. What's up, Clovis? Uh-oh. Oh, mother. Holy cow. Clovis, buddy, you could be of a lot more help. You're just sniffing around. Okay, we got it back. It's in the middle, 61 inches, and you can see we got the vertical laser beam, and you see how the laser beam is lined up in the middle of the post on the back. Oh, that's cool. I could actually see the laser lined up on the auger. Whoa! Oh, mother of pearl. Last hole. 4 feet down. Clovis, we need all the strength that we can get. We're going to have to engage. Full ooga booga mode. Ooga booga mode. Disengage. So let's see, after drilling 3 4-foot holes, oh, that's not bad. And this is a 4 amp hour battery, so I guess it took 1 amp hour of power to do 3 4-footers. So I think they sell these batteries up to, I think it's like 20 amp hours. One of the reasons I got this Ryobi auger is that it had excellent reviews online. It was on sale at my local hardware store. And also you can put on an ice auger bit for this thing to use it for ice fishing. So that's another thing I was going to get anyways, was an auger for doing ice fishing this winter. So this is perfect. You can use it for both. So I think we'll get a second battery, a bigger battery, but oh my God, what do I do with the rest of the concrete? I got like 3/4 of a bag. I guess I'll put it around the bases of the other posts here. this. Good boy. Good boy. So guys, the foundation's ready. Next week, we can start building with the beams we got. This laser level was very cool. Thank you to my neighbor for lending it, but it was weak. So I don't know if it was just, you know, should I get one of these things, you guys? Because I think I could have done the same with just, you know, wood and a 4-foot level like I've been doing before. Because if all these laser levels, you can't use them outside during the main, you know, daylight hours, then it's not worth the money. Even if it is $100, because you can't use it in the main hours of the day. But we're going to be cutting off these beams. You can see the marks I've made on all of them, cutting them out so everything is level. It's about 12 inches above ground, also with the concrete piers. And as always, this is my first time working with concrete, the Quikrete 5000. Any tips or hints you guys have, experienced folks out there, please let me know in the comments about how I can do it better next time. So, ladies and gentlemen, all of this clearing work that we just did here, this is for the sauna. So the sauna is going to be 8 by 8 feet. It's going to be a box with a very steep sloped roof, 12 by 12. And on the front face of the box is going to be entirely glass. So I want it facing out onto the water, onto the river here. At the back of the 8 by 8 foot box, we're going to have a 4-foot overhang. We may close it in, we may leave it open, but that's where you can change your clothes and whatnot. And my current thinking is to have the glass facing either directly here or oriented kind of upriver, because I think the view is best, but also thinking about the back. When you pop out the back, you go down to the swimming hole over here. The best swimming hole, I think, is over here. So starting in November, it's gonna start basically raining every other day. And then during the whole winter months, if you go look back to my videos from last year, water comes right over the top of this beaver dam. It looks like a regular rapids. And there is a back eddy here that's nice and calm. So even if you have to cut a hole in the ice, you don't have to worry about getting sucked down river. If you go swimming on the outer bend over there, it's just ripping down, and you also can't touch the bottom over there. Full glass of the sauna facing that way. And then the back entrance, you can scoot right out and then go swimming down there. That's what I'm thinking, guys. So what do you think? Tell me about what you think about my plan. It's gonna be built on, I'm thinking, concrete pilings. That's why I wanted to work with concrete for the woodshed, because if we're gonna do it down here, we need to have them go down 4 feet. And according to my neighbor's suggestion, they should be 2 feet above ground. Guys, option B would be to actually put the sauna. This is also a high embankment. You see there's some balsam firs right here. So you know this is kind of high and dry. This is really high. This is actually an even better view because you can see the giant ridge line over there. Actually, this option B might be better, guys. What do you think? Like, this view is actually much more epic. Option A on the corner over there, or option B here. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. I'm actually leaning towards option B, 8 by 8 box right here with the full glass window. Dude, that, just looking over that ridge line and all the clouds, that's so epic. This is the view, man. That's the view. What do you guys think? Option B, right? So next week, guys, we're gonna be building, look at that, oh my God. Next week, we're gonna be building, hopefully finishing the woodshed now that the foundation's done for that. We got all the beams we need to build it. So we're gonna be doing that and hopefully starting on the foundation here, build the foundation for the sauna and get that taken care of. So exciting times ahead, man. God, I can't wait. Even now, the river in late October, it's cold enough where it can, like, you know, it takes your breath away when you get in the water. I still love it, you know, it's still great, but sauna to cold river, that's the Scandinavian way. That's the way to go.